And we can see that the default content still works. Whoops. So that's mi jefe. I need to let him know that I'm busy. I should have done that before. It's like, don't bother me, I'm working. Okay. So just to recap what I just showed you there, that's sort of the ultimate level of customization that you can do with Razor, which is you can control everything. So you can add your own properties to every view. And in this case, I added this really nice method for rendering sections and providing a default content. Hopefully this method will be in the next version of MVC, so you don't have to do it. But if there are things that we haven't thought of that you need, now you know basically how to go and provide that for yourself. So in conclusion, I wanted to kind of show a couple resources. Forums.asp.net/1146.aspx, so it's kind of an ugly URL. But this is where all the members of my team, the product team, we monitor this forum and we try to answer questions there. So it's a really good place to start if you have basic questions about MVC. The other place to get more of a community people answering your questions is stackoverflow.com. In many cases, some of the members of my team like answering questions there more because they want the puntos, right? They want all the Stack Overflow points. My blog, I write all the examples that I showed you just now. I've written about them in one form or another recently on my blog. So if you're not subscribed to my blog, it's kind of a good resource for ASP.NET MVC information. And if I'm on Twitter as @hacked, so you can find me on Twitter. I have 5 minutes, so I have a little bit of time for questions. So if anyone has a few questions, feel free to ask. Anybody? Okay, we got one. I can't hear. She's going to give you a microphone. It doesn't work? Oh, okay. Hola. ¿Qué tal?
¿Podéis para agregar? Si alguien quiere hacer una pregunta en español y por ahí oficiar.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
It's all right.
Okay, go ahead.
When you talk about layouts, is there any compiling validation to avoid infinite loops?
Oh, good question. Is there any optimizations to avoid infinite loops? I don't think so, but it'd be fun to find out, right? So I'm going to probably destroy my computer. I know what we can do. We can say that index has a layout of layout, and then let's say layout has a layout of equals, let's see, slash view slash shared slash, I wonder if we can just do this. Okay, so we don't have any optimizations, but at least it returned quickly. Yeah, and this error message is not helpful, so it's a good idea for us to maybe make that a little bit better. Great question. Question?
In web forms, you master pages in web forms, when you define placeholders, and then you create a child page from the master page, it automatically renders all the different placeholders. In Razor, it doesn't use that. You have to put in the @section, the curly brackets, and start writing your HTML like that.
Yeah.
Are you planning to put in, so if the required isn't set to false, you should be able to, it should then automatically generate it in my mind.
Oh, you're saying the tooling ought to generate those placeholders if you don't set required to false.
And if you're creating a lot of pages, it can be a pain to remember all the different, to put in all the different sections, and then you get the section not defined error, and
Oh, yeah.
it's sometimes just quicker if they're required, when you're developing?
Yeah, so the question's about in web forms, will automatically generate the placeholders. It's a nice feature request. It would be nice to do it. The tricky part, and this is like, with every benefit, there's always that little bit of downside. The benefit of Razor being very code focused is that everything's just code and it's really easy to do the transitions. But the downside is that it's just code, and whereas with web forms, when we parse the layout, it's structured markup. We can parse out what the content sections are, and we can actually know that. But with the code, it's just code, and we're not even sure that there are content sections. And to give an example, right, because it's just a method, what if I did this, right? I could actually define, I think, public, helper result, my section, and in this I call render section, and let's say I did some other stuff, and then I call this from here. So at this point, how do we know that that's even a section, right? Like, we don't really have a way, like, we'd have to actually go and try to look at where this function's called and see, does it even call render section? And then what if that method calls it conditionally in a block? So it's something that would be nice, and maybe we can do it if, like, we introduce a new syntax to say this is a declarative section, and you want this behavior, but we can't do it in all cases and in general. So I'm not sure, like, what we'll do about that, though. But it's a really great question. So, the key point there, though, which brings up a good point, is that this is all just code. It's not like some special syntax. So, you could have these methods that can conditionally generate sections and all sorts of crazy things the kind of things that you can't do easily with web forms as well. Cool. Any more questions?
Mas?
Okay.
I think we're out of time anyway.
Okay, yeah, we're out of time. Thank you. Thank you very much.